Hi guys, I wanted to come on today and just do a video on my curriculum choices. So I'm going to do a video for each one of my children separately. Today I'm going to do a video on my 6-year-old, so he will be going into UK Year 2, American Grade 1. So first of all, I'm going to start with his maths. We are using the Good and the Beautiful again for maths this year. He's done level K and he'll be moving on to level 1. I've got my little trolley here. Now, I am using Pingles Printing, which is in the UK. They print a lot of Good and the Beautiful things, and I haven't yet received the actual curriculum. They bind it and everything for you, and it works out pretty reasonable. But here is the maths box for that goes with that. So that's what we're going to be using for maths primarily. This doesn't mean that this is the only maths he's going to be doing. So we have a lot of games that we use. So we've got Tell the Time. We've got Number Bears, but it's about number bonds. And then we also have some money games, which I'll just show you. So let me just get them. We have got, Pop to the Shops, and this uses British money because we're using American curriculum. That's really helpful. And then Pocket Money, which is a similar idea. You spin and match the coins. So both of those are really good games. And just games in general to teach maths. Baking, loads of other things include maths. So that's his maths. And then his other core area is English. Now, we were using the Good and the Beautiful, and he almost completed level K, but we decided to stop, and I'm going in a completely different direction now. So I felt that phonetically, I suppose is the right term to use, it isn't really strong curriculum, and that is an area he's struggling with the most. So we've only been doing this about a week, and it's been amazing how much he's picked up on. But what I've got, and I'll just show you the ones we're using currently, and so this is kind of what he does in a week. So I have got, now I'm going to do a more detailed video on how I'm teaching English to my 2 sons without a curriculum, but just briefly, I've got phonics cards. So he has 4 a week, and then when he's mastered, we move on. And then I have sight word or common exception words that he does every week. And again, he has 4 of them. And then I'm doing copy work with him. So for week 1, his sounds are as in look, book, O as in snow, blow, I as in nice, fine, O as in phone, home. Sight words are pull, push, put, and full. Now, the sight words cards that I'm using, it's a really great pack, and I put it in my haul and in my teaching English without a curriculum, both those videos. But it's really useful because in all the cards in green are what they should know by the end of year 1 in the UK, and all the cards in yellow is by the end of year 2. So he is a little bit behind, but it's just given me a really good idea of what he should be learning. So that's great. And then as a plan, I've just used these as a plan. He doesn't actually see these. This is just for me because it's quite small, these kind of cards. Then I've done 2 sentences per day for him to copy work. And these sentences include the sight words he's learning for the week, the phonics sounds he's learning for the week, and any phonics sounds that I think he's just mastered, just for like that recognition. So then he's got his, I shouldn't show you the front because it's got his name. He's got his writing in. So he does do a lot of letters and numbers the wrong way around at the moment, but it's just something we're working on. So he's done here. I push the toy car. I love hide and seek. I got one book at the shop. That kind of really simple sentences that use the words and sounds he's learning. And then he gets to pick a sticker to put next to his work each day. So just a few other things that we're going to be using through the year. We've got this grammar, punctuation and spelling year 1. We've got this phonics book year, which is 5+, so it's kind of a bit easy, but I'm hoping it will build his confidence and also practice the writing again. And then I think that's about everything that he's got. The other thing that we will be doing for English is, well, it's actually fine motor skills, is he'll do daily cutting activities. It's more likely that we'll loop that, but I'm thinking he'll either do something from this phonics workbook or a game or the cutting activity. So that is his core areas. He also does reading through the Bear Can Read, and I was going to do a separate sort of review on that. Basically, they send 2 to 3 books per month in your child's reading range, within their range, and we've loved it. He's just struggling with reading at the moment, so I don't know whether we'll stick with it. I have also got reading books from the library, that kind of thing, and I think we'll just see how we go. But yeah, so that's what we do for reading. It's just slowly easing him into it. He's only 6. I'm not super worried. He does a lot of reading. Obviously that copy work he reads, games he's reading. It's not like he's not reading and we read together. So the last thing I will mention is that obviously, other than these core subjects, we number 1, we do year-round home editing. So we are currently in the middle of a unit study. We're not starting at the beginning of September on a unit study. He's currently doing a space unit study, and then my older 2 are doing a money unit study. But he's actually shown quite a lot of interest in especially the games. So although he's only 6, he's been doing the games with us and learning through that. And then he's doing his space unit study almost daily. And in the space unit study, we include reading, writing, maths, depending on the different worksheets that he's doing, and we read a lot together. And on top of that, he also does history with his brother. I've done a whole video on how I teach history in our home ed, so if you want more details on that, you can read that, but I'll just show you the book, and I'll show this in my other son's video as well, my 8-year-old. We are doing the story of the world, and how I'm doing it just really briefly is I purchased the activity book 1, Ancient Times, and then we listen like an audio book on YouTube to the chapters, and then I'll just quickly show you, like today we did it because Thursday is the day that we do it. Each lesson has a worksheet and a colouring sheet, which is great for my 6-year-old. Actually keeps both of them really busy. They do the colouring sheet while they listen. Then we discuss, and they have really good, so again, I'll just find where we were today. They have really, really interesting questions that you can discuss or write down. So it depends on the age of your children and what they're comfortable with. So it will say things like, what 2 types of writing did we talk about? What 2 countries wrote in hieroglyphics? What 3 things did the Egyptians and Sumerians write on? Which is the easiest to write on? Which one lasts the longest? So all about clay tablets and different things like that. And it opened up questions as well about, is that why tablets that we use today are called tablets? And that kind of thing. And then it always has a narration exercise. So if you wanted your older child to write a piece of writing down, and I could do a simpler one for my 6-year-old, There's also additional history reading and literature suggestions that you can use. And then there's always the map work, which is that first worksheet I showed you. And they do things like geography type things, finding where the River Nile is, finding where Egypt is, seeing just kind of how they sit on a map. And then also there's activities. So we actually did make a model of the Nile, and I've done a short on that. And then we also did today, actually, we made cave paintings, and I've done a short on that as well. And then the next activity, and the only reason we didn't do it today is because I didn't have any clay, but the next activity is to actually make a clay tablet and write something with hieroglyphics. And they've given these charts to do that with. So that's history as well. And again, he does writing, art, all sorts of things. I would say the history is kind of our art as well during this, although they do separate art projects all the time. So then on top of that, obviously I mentioned his space unit study. He's going to do that, and then again I'm going to do another video on the unit studies I'm aiming to do for the rest of this school year. So look out for that, and that will sort of explain. I think probably space we have a few more weeks on. He is showing huge interest in the human body, so I don't know whether we'll have a look at what I've got planned and whether that might be a short next unit study for him, and we'll just see. But my older two children are doing a novel study next, so that's kind of the plan for that. But yeah, that's everything for core learning. It seems really simple, but it fills our time. I'd love to hear what you guys use curriculum wise. I wouldn't say I'm massively impressed with the Good and the Beautiful. I might do a separate review on them, but I find the maths he's actually flown through and he's comfortable with it now, so I don't really want to change things up too much. We also usually do maths outside, so because it's kind of printed and I can just take it with us, it's quite an easy one. You don't usually need lots of extra stuff. It's all in the box, and I've managed to get that box secondhand. So yeah, that's everything. Please put any questions or suggestions down below and look out for those other videos. Thanks, bye.